Hey everybody, welcome to Waffle Talk episode. Well, we're going to be discussing Dice Camera Action episode 131. On the screen, there is a chat thing, so anything you type in the Twitch chat will come up on the screen. So don't, you know, don't write anything bad, but write many things that are good. And
Yes.
so as we go, we'll address those things that you wrote, and we're gonna run down the whole episode. Boom! Ooh, thank you. And yeah, and hello to Luca Troopa and Vixen, the intelligent fox. So, Shauna, can you give a recap of what happened on this episode?
Yes. So in this episode, we end on the briefest part of the longest 24 hours of the Waffle Crew so far in Waterdeep, where they are recovering from the explosion of their house, which has basically caused a neighborhood spectacle with all of the fire brigade wizards and all of the various denizens of Trollskull Alley coming to watch as their house burns. They recover what they can, which is basically a shell of this poor Trollskull Manor. And after they kind of recover from that, as they do, Dieth meets with Talash and Daragon, the head priest of the Church of Thunder, and he goes on a minor quest, to get Lightfall reforged, and is basically divinely instructed to take Jarlaxle with him, which was maybe not as eventful, was not what each other wanted, because I think definitely Jarlaxle wanted Evelyn along. So after the trip to get Lightfall reforged, once he gets home, in a very heartfelt moment, Diaz presents Lightfall to Evelyn, and Evelyn's complete now. She has her soul. The long process of Evelyn's split souls, the last bits of her construct have kind of been put together, and that's where we kind of leave it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my first question,
Hmm.
I watched this episode and I didn't understand where the Lightfall thing came from. I was kind of I felt like I missed something.
I
I actually went back and I didn't
Yeah.
see where did that come from? Why did
Diath
he
is a
just
sneaky boy.
I think he's been this seems like something that maybe Jared wanted to pursue, like, in the background, and kind of like once there was a proper time, maybe this is the moment, because it's
That's
something
what
that they've been hanging on to those pieces like forever, and the rings have been around forever.
Yeah.
and isn't there something special going on with the rings, pieces of Evelyn's soul? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it confused me at first, the mention of her mom and dad, but
Mhm.
it was still like, aw.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was like, okay.
So I'm a little fuzzy on like what the rings were when the C team kind of got them appraised. They were something that could like contain a god. Is that correct? They had the
Gosh.
power to.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Think so, yeah.
That something like that.
So that's
All I know about the rings was episode 52.
mhm.
Yeah.
And that's part of why I was confused about the mom and dad thing. Because it was definitely Diath and Strix, not but it still was it still just worked. It made me happy in general. It's just like, yay.
Yeah.
So
It was very cute, for sure.
yeah, it was just like all of a sudden it was like we're going on a quest to put Lightfall together.
Mhm.
And it's just like, really?
Oh, okay.
And then I felt like Chris was a little thrown by the fact that they split the party.
Mhm.
It felt like he thought they were all gonna go.
Or at least definitely Evelyn was gonna go too, maybe.
So they get to the village and like they kind of spotted a drow skulking around,
Mhm.
but nothing happened. They were able to get there, get the axe made and get out before
Yeah.
anything bad happened. So I don't know. It was very strange the way.
God. And he brought up that like Jarlaxle was kind of like angry that Evelyn didn't come either. He was just kind of stewing the whole trip.
To the point where he said that there was going to be repercussions.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
usually hear your DM say, "Yeah, there's probably gonna be repercussions for this." You know?
Not usually.
It's usually
Point it out.
before there. It's like you might want to do this. There might be something bad.
That sounds like Chris was mad.
Yeah.
You know, Chris wanted more Jarlaxle and Paulton butting heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jarlaxle trolled Dieth a little bit too, making fun of the nursery book.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The nursery.
He just
rhyme.
maybe he's in a foul mood. He's just like, this isn't
Vixen.
like Joe Axel. Just like,
Vixen says, "Can't Paulton get that magic mansion spell, or is he still too low level?"
Ooh, I think it's
that,
you
like,
have to be a little
nine-
higher. I think.
Morning
Is
Right.
it like a 7th through 9th level spell? It's like a ridiculously high level.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
Yeah.
Mordenkainen's
don't have-
magnificent mansion.
Yeah.
That would. So I guess
Which he probably would take, but
Probably.
he should
We're not
take
quite
it.
there yet.
That would be cool. That'd be
All right.
it's an upgrade on the waffle.
Yeah, I have a question.
It's a 7th level spell, so
Mhm.
next level
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
7th level.
you would be able to get it. So
Yeah. I have a question for everyone. Are they going to stay at Troll Skull Alley, or the neighborhood going to kick them out? Are we getting to
don't
that
know.
point?
I mean, they seem like they want to put the money in to rebuild it.
Yeah, they do.
They even stayed in the ruins in the little
They
waffle
do,
hut.
but, like, it seems like it's been like a growing thing that the neighborhood is starting to like get tired of like whatever they're doing. It's like,
I'm surprised they didn't kick him out. After
yeah,
that.
no, it's been a long time coming.
Honestly,
Yeah,
but I don't know.
they.
I was honestly surprised that Alcoria didn't like show up like immediately.
Yeah, Okoria.
what if she was one of the wizards making rain?
See, that's what I was thinking first, but then Chris didn't bring it up, and I was like,
Mm.
oh, okay, interesting.
That's true. She could have been one of them. There was a whole bunch of the wizards that were putting
Yeah.
the fire out.
Yeah.
Then one accidentally hit the house with a lightning bolt, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, sorry.
Vixen says Jarlaxle and Paulton arguments are probably what Chris wanted for his birthday. Yeah, it's Chris. Chris is a leap year
Mhm.
birthday person.
There is.
So
His unbirthday.
yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's rare. Not too
Yeah.
many.
Every 4 years he gets a birthday.
So yeah, the wizards put out the fire, and then a spike fell off the roof and impaled Simon's shoulder.
He
Yeah.
rolled for that too.
Yeah.
Gosh.
He's like 1, 2, 3. No, wait, 3. This 3.
At least he
It
didn't
just
die.
added how tired Evelyn was of that whole situation. Like, the house is on fire. I don't know what anybody's doing, and our son has basically been mortally wounded by this like just random spike that fell off the house.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if like it seems like Chris is easing up a little bit because I feel like in earlier episodes that spike would have just killed somebody. You know,
Mm-hmm.
one of the kids too.
Yeah. More than likely.
Just laid right in their head and they're just dead. That would be it. They would just be dead. Luca Troopa says, "Wait, were they putting the fire out with lightning?"
They made a big old rainstorm and it just downpour. And
Yeah.
then control weather. It's
Exactly. Yeah. They're using cold weather. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I think they were just too enthusiastic about what they were really into their job. I guess they just got a little carried away.
Imagine putting out a fire with lightning.
They were probably showing off for each other.
Fight
So-
fire with fire, right? That's what you're supposed to do.
Phoenix says, "I'm scared because when Jarlaxle was cited by the food critic, and now Paulton and Strix are insulting him in front of Evelyn."
Honestly,
Mhm.
as soon as he said, "I like to win," I went, "Oh no, he's gonna have a rough go with Paulton."
That's true.
Here we go.
That's true. He did say that about the critic.
He sure did.
Poison bullets. Someone's gonna get it.
Just all three gunslingers show up and shoot Bolton. Yeah, maybe.
Could. Poison bullets. I don't know.
They silenced them again. It'd be freaking over already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was picturing a bunch of firefighters just shooting arcs of lightning out of their hands. Yeah.
And it
well,
somehow works.
yeah.
The wonders of magic.
Yes.
Vixen says maybe if it was one of the other kids, but Chris might have too much fun playing Simon.
Mm.
That's true,
Yeah.
but Simon
Yeah, I
did get
noticed.
killed.
Twice.
But yeah.
Mm.
I mean,
Once by the Balhanoth, right?
yeah, I think that's one of the things he said he regretted doing was killing Simon off that first time
Mm.
because it added a lot to Nate's character. So I don't think he's in a hurry to get rid of Simon at this point.
How did Simon die the first time? I don't remember.
Got crushed by an earth element.
Yep, just
Just
Ooh,
stepped on.
smushed.
That's right. That's right. In the Yak Village, right?
Yep, unceremoniously smushed by a.
That was like an epic stretch of just that was like Iron Slag in that whole area. That was like a
That
big
was
thing.
that was like the 4-episode combat.
Yeah, that was like
The
that-
beginning of the 4-episode combat was that episode, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was like a huge. It was kind of like their dungeon crawl.
it was incredibly stressful watching that because it was like they're gonna die every time. It's like they're gonna die.
Yeah.
And every time they didn't, it's like, how did they not die?
God.
Yeah.
I'm stressed.
Yeah.
So while they were looking through the wreckage,
Mhm.
they saw this is so weird. So last episode they found the mannequin with the bunny ears that spun around and took them to the Shadowfell.
Mhm.
So this episode they found the remains of the mannequin. It got pretty much destroyed in the fire and the explosion.
Yep.
So I assume that means they can't use it to go to the Shadowfell anymore.
I mean,
Well, it was given to the city guard to give to wizards to figure it the heck out. So there's a chance it could be rebuilt.
Yeah.
I missed that part.
it's
I don't understand the bunny ears. I just don't get it.
Oh,
like
yeah.
just like antenna. I guess it's just like TV antenna. I guess is maybe that's what you're looking for. Like,
Little antenna, but also it's funny.
Hmm.
We also learned that Waffles is okay.
That's good.
was
yeah,
in the
Waffle's okay.
house.
It's very good.
I like when Holly uses the resistance just to walk back into the fire. It's like, nah, it won't hurt me. It's all right. I'm just gonna walk back. Find what we have.
Oh.
She's a tiefling, so she takes half damage. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So she still could have got hurt.
She could have got hurt, but it's less.
And if the
And then
roof,
Squidly.
if the
Yeah.
roof collapsed,
Yeah, if stuff collapsed.
or a
True.
whole bunch of roof spikes fell on her at once.
Yeah. I think they
I
were
think that
probably
was more
just.
like. Yeah, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I think that was more likely on the outside of the house because that was the roof decor. But on the
Yeah.
inside of the house, you have banisters, and
Mhm.
it's a different level of
Yeah.
danger.
Just like,
I-
and if they got hit by lightning, they also do lightning damage.
Yeah. I think
Crazy.
they're also in.
Lightning shoots through the house.
Yeah, I think
It's
they're also
sick.
in shock because their house is burning. They're just like, I'm gonna go get stuff. Our house is afire.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then there was a phrase uttered on the show.
Mhm.
Dr. Seximoff.
Sex.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Dieth has been calling her that the whole time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was Hadil's character,
Yeah.
Dr. Theximoff, right?
Sex.
Yeah.
Dr. Serenity Theximoff. Yeah. Oh, hey, Matthew. Thank you very much for jumping in. That's really cool of you.
I mean, Dieth has to make fun of someone's name. Like, you got to find somebody to because he's the one that always gets Dorth and
Oh yeah.
weird names. So it's like,
It started way back in season 1 with what's his name? But his name is like Asmir, like as
Mhm.
that's
something.
Casimir?
It's not Asmir because that's a race, but it was the Dusk Elf.
Oh, right.
Casimir.
Casimir, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what it
called him
is.
Asmir. Or something.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
That's right.
That was way back when, and remember he was in
Season 1.
disguise,
Mhm.
and Chris kept accidentally calling him by the wrong name. But the group never picked up because it's Rahadin, I think it is,
Yeah.
but pretending to be Casimir.
Mhm.
And he kept and I think every DM does that because it's hard to keep it all sorted in your brain.
Like,
And like
I've
it's
done
just
that before.
It's so funny because like they never picked up on it. It was like, oh, look at that. It was pretty smooth, you know.
Hmm.
The neighbors are not happy,
mm-mm.
and
When are they?
Strix tried to smooth it over with a pie full of glass shards.
I mean,
She never fixed it.
Strix needs to.
It was earlier
keep-
that day, but
You need to keep the food and safety stuff on lockdown, Strix, or else you're not. No one's gonna buy your pies.
I mean, in her defense, it was earlier that day that the
Yeah.
thing was broken.
Yeah,
True.
that's a long day. It's been a long day.
I feel
Very
like-
long day.
I feel like the neighbors have had enough at this point,
Hmm.
and I would imagine they're going to take drastic action. Although
There's-
I can't imagine what it would be.
There is definitely a There's got to be a neighbor, like kind of like a
HOA.
Yes, and I think it's gonna be an episode. It's like they have to make their case to not be like
Like,
kicked out.
they're a menace. Their house has blown up at least 3 times, which is highly irregular within the last year.
Thankfully, they don't know about the twice kidnapping
Yes.
that happened in their house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about that kidnapping though, because I always forget his name.
Martum?
Martum.
Martum,
That's
yeah.
it. Yeah. The Martum they have right now in their custody, does not remember being kidnapped by Simon, which
No.
screams doppelganger,
Or something, yeah.
which
It's like the
Yeah.
weird Shadowfell version. Of
Like an alternate. Are you thinking
Yeah.
it's gonna be an alternate of some kind?
That's
Yeah.
weird.
and I don't like it.
It's really weird.
Oh yeah, because
It's
they
weird.
never. No Juniper, right?
No, Juniper
No.
Mm-mm.
hasn't mentioned having a mouse.
Mm-mm.
Doesn't remember being kidnapped by Simon. Only remembers being kidnapped by Audra.
Yep.
And his
Uh-oh.
family's dead.
Good.
It's just
Yeah, and his
like,
family's dead. Yep.
it's just like the whole Shadowfell double thing. I mean, does that mean that in the Shadowfell Waterdeep, there's Shadowfell versions of the Waffle Crew running around in there?
Well,
Maybe.
that's what I
But-
think the whole thing with Evelyn is.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think it's like construct that we saw in Chult.
Mm.
I think it's like actual, flesh and blood Evelyn of Shar.
Mhm.
Do
You
we
know.
think that maybe
I
the
just-
construct is like kind of like acts as like a simulacrum for that?
That's
Maybe.
what I was just
Yeah.
thinking. Like
Maybe, yeah.
Oh.
Evelyn, servant of Evelyn.
Mhm.
Oh.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Then that kind of begs the question. All right, so where's the rest of the crew
Hmm.
there? Did they serve her? Did she kill them?
Gosh.
You know?
If died, right? Most the rest of them died, right?
What would a Shadowfell Paulton be like?
We met.
Paulton,
Evil.
because he's from.
Let's say just
Not
to be
Dread
Yeah,
Plane.
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
Wait,
Paulton is
okay,
the Shadowfell Paulton.
wait. So maybe that means that there's another Paulton,
Prime
a
Paulton.
prime Paulton.
Paulton, that is Paulton.
Prime
that is.
material Paulton.
It would
Yeah.
be.
Unless he's just the Vistani because he can go from to and fro, and he's
Possible.
just both of them.
I
And
would
he-
love. Yeah.
That's
love
why he
it.
can talk to chat.
I would love it if Paulton eventually loses out to Prime Paulton. Like that's just like the ultimate, like
Oh no!
That'd be great.
Phoenix
boy.
asks, will Diaz's connections with the City Watch be enough to stop them being kicked out? I think so.
I think
No.
it would be enough to stop them,
Mm.
but at the same time, I don't know if the crew would mind.
No.
It seems like Diaz has a lot of clout now.
hmm
But, I was thinking like Paulton's brief time as the Bard Knight with his robe and his penchant for vigilante justice.
Hmm.
I guess Troll Skull Alley was sort of like his Gotham City, and I think he could have probably built up some goodwill by, taking to the night and stopping crime. Although there
Yeah.
doesn't seem like there is much crime in Troll Skull Alley,
They
so
seem.
just people
Not
trying.
in not in
Crime-
DCA comparatively.
No.
Mm-mm.
Crime has increased in Troll Skull Alley ever since these guys moved in.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
didn't have demigods
They have
wearing
attracted all of the crime lords.
all the crime lords.
Luca Troopa asks, what if Prime Paulton is what's his face? The Water Davian guard who he had conflict with or something.
Todd?
Todd.
Do we have description of
Is
Todd?
Todd
Do
Paulton?
we have Todd? I think
That would be
Oh
awesome.
my god.
That would be awesome.
He's Todd Prime Material Paulson.
And he's just a normal dude.
Mhm.
the normal.
That's it.
He's
Hello.
NPC that got named randomly.
Todd.
That's
Todd.
actually that's really on brand though. If they're completely different people,
Mhm.
Paulton breaks the fourth wall, the other one just blends into the background.
Yeah.
Phoenix,
That's really on brand.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Phoenix asks, have we seen the last of the Bard Knight with the sale of the cloak? I guess so, but I don't know. Sooner or
Until-
later, he'll probably find a cloak of the bat. and
Yeah.
then it's gonna
He'll
be-
find
Oh god.
and
another
then,
dark cloak or something.
and then it's gonna be,
I-
then it's for real. Yeah.
I mentioned his cloak of billowing again, so and he's like,
Sure.
"Oh yeah, I do have that, don't I?"
Cloak of billowing. Yeah.
He has his cloak of billowing. So
Yeah.
it's like that should be interesting. Maybe he'll bring that back.
Yeah, because he should
That
be
now
like,
he can truly be the Bard Knight by standing on the rooftop and billowing.
yeah, he should be crouched on a roof, and his billowing cloak is like,
Yeah,
flapping. Yeah.
Mhm.
And there's like the moon behind him.
Mhm.
superhero.
Vixen. Shadow Paulton is a vampire. Shadow Diath is a rogue who steals but never gets caught. And Shadow Strix is the best sorceress in the realms.
Hmm.
Shadow Strix. Yeah, I don't know what Shadow Strix would be. Shadow Strix
Does
is already
she-
shadowy.
I still don't understand. Like with her, would
Mhm.
would she even have a shadow because she's of like
It's from planes. Yeah.
welcome to Sigil.
Yeah, true.
Mhm.
In that case, there might the whole like
Parallels are
mirror.
weird.
Yeah, is
Yeah,
really weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, that means there was a Feywild Strix and a
Oh, wait,
Shadowfell
wait.
Strix.
That's probably why it's not in the
She is
DMG
Shadowfell
anyway.
Strix. I just realized she is Shadowfell Strix.
Oh, because she's from
Barovia as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because
Uh-oh.
That's
right.
Yeah, the Strasny. That's right. So she is
Hmm.
Shadowfell Strix.
Interesting.
So that means it would just be Evelyn and Diath. Although we don't know where Diath is really from either.
That's
Mhm.
that's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
He says
So yeah,
he's
it might just
from
be one.
Might just be
Staggerford.
That's
Diath,
what he says.
I mean, because it sounds like Diath is born in Sigil,
Mm.
or his family lived in Sigil or something.
Yeah, that's right. Evil. I think it's the only one that's from Faerun, right? Yeah, that's right.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah.
That's weird.
It's
Uh,
kind of cool too, though.
Yeah.
Coyote Trickster. I honestly thought he was wearing two cloaks. I think he was.
He was. Yeah. Cloak on.
Well, actually, what he was wearing was his robe,
Uh-huh.
which honestly kind of makes it better. So it's like wearing two cloaks and his robe and his vampire slippers, sipping
Yeah.
tea.
Oh yeah. Speaking of the cloak, they got money for that cloak.
They got
Money. They got
They got
cash.
money.
15,000 gold.
Yeah.
Not-
Yeah.
They don't have it yet,
Or
but
they will be getting money. Hopefully.
They sold. They.
they have
Paul,
made the deal for it.
Paulton and Evelyn stayed behind on from the adventure to go sell this cloak of the Archmagi,
Hmm.
and then they get the idea to sell it to Acquisitions Inc. And like that's one of those everybody lights up when they realize Jim Dark Magic can get this cloak and use it. It's
But
like,
can he use it? Is Jim evil?
Oh,
Or is he just an asshole? He's like,
Well,
That's the question. Does being an asshole make you evil?
What's
I
his
think-
alignment?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like,
Question.
I don't know.
but it'd be wonderful. Like Jim gets like they get it. They paid all this money. Jim's very happy, and he can't use this cloak.
It's the question of whether
You
or not
can't use
Omen's
his
evil.
cloak. Yeah.
He's not a good person either.
I hope he gets it though. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
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 It's kind of one of those things where immediately it was like, oh, that has to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they paid.
They almost
It's
took.
like, oh no.
They almost took 20,000 gold.
They
for
almost
it.
took nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And oh, all right. Hold on. Let's see.
Went from 0 to 50,000 real fast.
50,000.
Yeah. When
I
they
cannot believe
Paulton
that.
with that clutch deception. No.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
can pay for
Yeah.
some of the money they owe people with that money.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this is kind of Dragon Heist spoilers, I guess. But like at the end of Dragon Heist, you don't get to keep all the 500,000.
Of
And
course.
you get 50,000 out of it.
Mhm.
So like they don't even need the money.
Mhm.
They got that off a freaking robe.
Mhm.
Yeet.
That's insane.
It's
Phe-
like,
Oh my gosh.
Phoenix says when they rebuild the manor, they need to add gargoyles on the roof for Paulton to crouch on, looking across
Mhm.
Waterdeep.
Maybe
they-
they really need real gargoyles to guard that house.
They did say that to repair the house was only like 2,000.
I
Yeah.
think
something like that. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's like
might
they're
be-
loaded. They're
Drop a
totally
bucket.
loaded. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Remises. Hey, Remises. Remises does the fandom wiki.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was never made clear if Strix was born in Barovia or summoned there by Fiona Wachter. Even
Mhm.
Holly recently admitted it wasn't clear.
Oh, I thought it was like they summoned the I thought like they summoned the parent or something.
Hmm.
But I guess it never was actually stated.
Mhm.
So
Vixen,
she could come from the hills.
yeah. Vixen
Sure.
says that Omen is going to be angry, I guess, over the purchase of the
Very.
robes. That is
Yes.
a lot of money to spend, so I
Mhm.
don't know how much money.
It's a lot of money to spend on Jim.
Specifically. That's where the line has been crossed. If it was on himself.
Yeah. If this was like, hey, Omen, here's this cool cloak.
And it's
It
an
wouldn't be like that.
investment that, like, how are you going to make your money back on those robes?
Mm.
I'm sure there's probably a million ways to do it, but
You
Jim's
They
will
can
be
definitely.
less needing of resurrecting Jim again.
Although.
How many clones of Jim could he make with that 50,000?
Yeah.
Because like clone takes what 5,000 for material
Oh.
components.
Then
Wow.
if that's the case, 10.
10
Wow.
Jim clones.
Wow.
Although they could probably sell, knowing Owen, probably sell that cloak for more to somebody that probably knows what it is.
Oh no.
I don't think Jim would want to give it away, though.
You don't tell Jim.
Oh.
Simple answer. Just don't tell him.
Just
Say
don't tell
it's just
Jim.
it's a fake.
Yeah,
Oh.
just don't tell Jim.
Remises says in the Cathrismus episode, Diath admitted he wasn't born in Waterdeep, but was raised there. This also goes with Shemeshka using Banish on him and Schult and sending him to Sigil. That's right.
Right, because how does the
Yes.
banish spell work? It sends you to your home plane
Mhm,
if you're not on your home plane.
mhm.
Hmm.
So if that's the case, he's from Sigil
Mm.
Mhm.
specifically.
Cody.
Or
Sorry, go ahead.
does I don't know how it works with the Planescape. Is
Mhm.
Sigil like part of the rest of Planescape, like the Outlands and
It's
stuff,
the
or is it just
center.
kind of floating above the center
It's
point?
kind of separate from everything, right? It's just
Yeah.
it's the very, very center. It kind of ends separate.
'Cause that's the weird thing. Like everybody sees the
Center
big,
and separate at the same time.
Mhm.
yeah, because everybody
Yes,
sees the big
everything.
donut floating over the spire in the Outlands, and like, oh, that's Sigil, but you can't get into Sigil that way.
You can't get
So
in.
it's like kind of its own demi-plane
Yeah.
So
thing going on.
it's like
you
you
can't-
you can see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can
You
supposedly
can't-
see it.
You can't climb the
Yeah, no.
the mountain that it's
No.
kind of like floating on, because that mountain is
Literally
infinite. Yeah. It's bizarre.
Cool. So you
Yeah.
have to teleport into it.
You
Yes.
You have to take a.
And
what-
when
you
I
have to
say
take a-
teleport, I mean more like plane shift kind of
you-
thing.
I don't think you can plane shift in there. I think you have to take a
Take a portal.
door.
In
Yeah.
older editions, there's no way in or out except through the doors. But
Okay.
it seems different now, though,
Yeah.
in 5th. So
Just for like simplicity's sake, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. because there's a
That
lot
makes
of
sense.
weird situations like with the ethereal plane.
Hmm.
And second, they were so picky about what overlapped with the ethereal and what didn't.
Mhm.
You have to look it up in all these books to find out. So
Yeah.
I think
Cosmology could be slightly
they
different.
simplified it in 5th, I think. So
Yeah.
Coyote Trickster says, Perkins isn't going to let them keep that money. Something will happen.
Oh, yeah, they already have like 10 ways that they can use it. They can give it to the dwarfs. They can
Yeah.
they can give it to the Castellaners. They can give it
It.
it can get stolen by Joel Axel. It's all the things.
I can.
True.
It might be to their benefit not to give it to the Castellans, let the Castellanders kind of burn, because like it'll give Joaxel what he wants, which is if they're out of line, like he's the next big donor for the church.
Oh yeah, it's true. Okay.
Oh,
Okay. So the whole Telastin thing this episode seemed really fishy to me.
oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah. For
Like,
sure.
oh yeah, let me roll these dice. Oh, look
Yeah.
at that. You should bring your
Two
lax.
spiders,
Oh,
two suns,
yeah. Oh,
a
you have-
web, and an eye.
That's totally what these dice
oh,
said.
totally. Bring this power broker with you.
Mhm.
Which
Who I have
This person who I totally don't know.
don't know. Yeah.
don't know at all. Yeah. Yeah. She totally owes him something. or
Yeah.
along
I
those
mean,
lines.
that's his motive, right? Is just for like influence.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's the reason he's in Waterdeep. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the money maybe doesn't matter as much as like if the Waffle Crew can get him more influence with power.
Mhm. Oh yes.
Let's see. Look at Trupa. I mean, you might be able to keep the 500,000 depending on how good at D&D you are. in my experience, like
Mhm.
money
well
in
you roll?
D&D doesn't, like I've had campaigns where I just give out tons of money just to see what happens. And a
It
lot of
doesn't
times
mean
they
anything if you
don't
don't spend
do
it.
anything with it.
Yeah.
So
It's like
Yeah.
No matter how much money you give them, they'll still try and bargain with
Haggle
whatever
down.
shopkeeper. Yeah, so haggle. It's like, no, you have infinite money. Almost like, no,
and
don't
then,
want to give
don't
them.
seem to understand.
and then in the PH, certain things are so expensive, like buying a boat, like a ship, or if you use the downtime
Yeah.
rules to start a business, it's so expensive, and you make so little money like per week out of it. So
But
it's
killing things gets you the most money.
Yeah. Look at Drupa calls Jim Dark Magic the new Manchun, which could be true. Slap a mask on him. Remisis, Dieth still has the treasure from the Xanathar, too, but we don't know what happened to that smaller chest. It might still be on Plurio's body and in the hands of the City Watch. That's better than having it be exploded. So
Oh,
there,
We know
Dieth,
what's in that smaller chest, don't we? The smaller chest is one of his little hideaways of special things.
yeah, he had a collection of coins from different places, and then he had some dolls that Strix had made with notes that had also been
One.
attached.
One of him and one of her.
Yeah.
So wound up. Oh, poor boy.
Chris is gonna let them build a really cool manor. Oh, don't say that. Don't say. And then he's gonna
And then
blow
blow
it
it
up again.
Why
Well,
you get-
the blow it up guy
many
is
times?
gone. So,
Well,
Warrington.
Well, the first time they blew it up, it was with a Modron going wee woo, wee woo,
That's right.
wee woo, wee woo, wee woo, wee woo, wee woo, wee woo.
And then, poor
They
thing.
blew up. Look at Drupa says the sigil ring is similar to the Eberonian moons being manifestations of the plains.
It really is. Yeah.
Yes, I don't know. The city of Sigil is just kind of its own deal.
Don't dealio.
Yeah,
Its own little donut.
it's all about
Yeah.
the planar doors that connect to it. So,
Mhm.
I mean, they're
Which-
very strict in second edition about getting in and out of it. It's like it's a whole thing.
I
That's
mean,
why it's called the cage.
the Lady of Pain is very strict about it.
She can't get out. She's trapped in
Or-
there.
Or does she want to not
Suppose.
get out? Who knows?
The
one
mysteries of the
knows.
lady.
Vixen
Her
said.
serenity.
Vixen says, "I thought it was 3 spiders on the dice. I tried to note them down as I watched the show, but I think I missed one. There was like 2 suns, was it? 2 spiders. I think 1 web
And one eye.
And one
and
eye.
1 eye. That's the one I missed.
Yeah.
2 suns, 2 spiders, 1 web, and 1 eye.
Do think that was really cool though. Like they were like you can touch them and it's the
Ooh.
All right,
yeah.
so 2 suns, Lathander, right? Evelyn, whatever. 2 spiders, Drow. 1 web, the scheme of the Drow.
That's what I was thinking too.
And the
Yep.
eye. Oh, the 1 eye. Remember, because she said the guardian who's got to go with them has 1 eye.
One good eye.
Jarlax.
Which
She says with its like bluffing because Jarlaxle totally has both eyes
is
working.
2 eyes. Yeah.
It's just whichever eye he's covering with the eye patch, it gives him
Yeah,
a different ability.
The eye patch is totally fake.
Looks cool.
It's a magical eye patch though.
Yes. Yeah.
Was there someone else who only has 1 eye that was the actual guardian? Do they know?
Squidly.
Squidly?
Squidly.
No, Swilly leaves nobody to anything.
That would be so weird.
Unless Squidly also has both eyes.
Maybe.
And just like also thinks it's cool.
Knowing Squidly, he probably shot out his own eye.
Squidly's
Yeah.
Squidly. It's
He took you'll shoot your eye out literally when he got that bow.
Yeah,
it's
he's
a,
like,
it's,
oh, really?
it's a miracle that Squidly's still alive.
It
He
is.
says, walking out of fire. I like it.
Vixen says, Diath personally killed Plurio, though, and I doubt he wouldn't make sure Plurio didn't steal anything.
Hmm.
Lucas Rubel, wonder what would happen if you blew up Sigel's ring. Like, you mean blow up Sigil?
Who
Who
knows?
knows? I mean, if it's the
It's-
center of the multiverse. I mean, the Lady of Pain. I know that in Sigil there was one time where all these portals to the lower planes opened up and the blood war
yeah.
spilled in.
Mhm.
And
Faction war.
her
Yep.
response to that, she has the power to just turn off all of the portals. So for a time, they couldn't get food in to Sigil because she shut all the portals down, and
Yeah.
it took a while before she turned them back on.
It's like one of the few places where gods don't have any power either. He can't.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
There's also the controversial second edition adventure,
Die, Vecna.
Die,
Die,
Vecna,
Vecna,
Die,
Yes.
where Vecna got in somehow,
Yeah.
and that almost.
Use the
like,
mists of
"Me."
Ravenloft to get into Sigil. Yeah.
Oh, huh.
Yeah.
It's like
Ooh.
And
That
some
worked.
people were outraged because it violated other rules that had been established in previous products. So I don't know.
welcome to D&D, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
D&D does it all the time.
Yeah.
So.
I would imagine that in many people's campaigns, something like that had happened anyway. I mean, right? So I don't know. Okapan. The first time was a Modron. The second time was Strix covering up a kidnap.
Yeah.
Don't forget the fireballs in the basement that kind of like caved
Oh,
everything.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The whole tap room just.
Yeah. They're lucky. They must be on like a first name basis with all the carpenters in the city. You know?
There's nothing left of this.
I think they
This
were
manor.
anyway, simply because Magnus
Original.
is a carpenter. But
Oh.
Yeah.
Remises. Diath doesn't loot bodies, unlike
Mm-mm.
Strix, and he seemed pretty sure his things were well hidden, so he wouldn't necessarily suspect Plurio had been searching for them.
Mm.
I don't know. Diath doesn't loot bodies?
not really. No.
Has he ever?
Not much
He
of a track record
does
for
every
that.
once in a while. I guess if they need to find something specific, but
They don't really loot very much.
Strix loots constantly.
Strix does.
Yes, she does, but not for the things you would expect.
Garbage. It's garbage.
She leaves the magic items and takes their trash, basically.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
say she leaves the magic items and takes their body parts. Just,
Mhm.
I'll take that horn. I'll take that tongue. I'll take
What's
that
scary?
heart.
Yeah, the giant. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Look at Troopa. The eye could be the Elder Elemental Eye, if the rest of it is meant to allude to Lolth. The Elder Elemental Eye, possible, but it's just kind of like.
Out of
Actually,
left
what's
field.
funny is like I was thinking, well, that's in fifth they haven't really, but then Elemental Evil, right? Princes of the Apocalypse. Which they really in this show, they've dealt with a lot of the published adventures, but I don't think they've referred to Princes of the Apocalypse.
No.
Curse of
Or
Strahd was the first one that they started using.
yeah, they didn't do Princes or
Out of the
Court of the
Abyss.
Dragon Queen / yeah, they didn't do Out of the Abyss either.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Or Rise of Tiamat.
I feel like
Tiamat. However you pronounce it.
yeah, Tiamat.
I feel like they won't do the Sinister Secrets of Saltmarsh or Ghosts of Saltmarsh. That's what it's called. The new book coming out either.
And that one's
Just
kind of
'cause-
like Yawning Portal, right?
Yeah, where it's an anthology of old adventures. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, so they probably won't. Although Yawning Portal did have the Yawning Portal in it,
It's true.
so there's a little bit of a.
Oh, yeah.
you know,
But
I mean, so does Dragon Heist.
that would be cool if they did some. Well, I'm starting to feel like
Mhm.
they put all these adventures out,
Mhm.
and there's been a few big dungeons, right? There's
Mhm.
Tomb of Annihilation, and there's the Mad Mage, which is just a giant dungeon. And then in Yawning Portal, there was Dead and Thay, which is a giant dungeon.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm wondering now, it's like, are people going to be dungeoned out? Or, I mean, you know what I mean? How many giant dungeons? It's Dungeons and Dragons. But it's like, how many dungeons can you do? You know?
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. I'm just wondering if people are going to get like, they don't seem to be tuckered out or whatever.
the
But-
thing is, with at least Tomb, yes, the last chapter is a mega dungeon, but the majority of the book is not.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So
True.
I think based off of what I've seen, they have the big dungeons, but they also have a lot of just explore, have fun going along
Yeah.
with it too.
I think one of the things with that I really enjoyed about Tomb of Annihilation was just like the traps and puzzles and stuff. Like you could go all the way to level 5 and just do that first, or stuff like that.
Mhm.
And like that was really fun that you could do it any order you wanted and skip rooms and do this and that,
Mhm.
And like if you do something like that, or if a mega dungeon has like these interesting faction dynamics going on where it's not just like, oh, there's 6 goblins in a room, they attack you, but we don't want to fight them. Okay, well, too bad. That's what the book says happens, so too bad.
Yeah.
If it's not like that, it can work.
Yeah, there's enough. I think there's enough variety because I think there's a certain like thing, like a slight bit of burnout at the very beginning of 5e when everything was a cult, and it was just
Yeah.
kind of like going from this like, okay, cult,
Yeah.
next book,
Cult.
you got to fight a cult again,
Yeah.
except with dragons.
Stuff's running off the screen. Look at Troop. Got in at 3.5. Oh, okay. Yeah, that was post Planescape.
Mm-hmm.
Phoenix. Check out the random loot tables by Lady Tiefling on Instagram. Chris retweeted
Yes.
them, and they're awesome.
They are good.
yeah.
They're
They
very
look
good.
great. Yeah.
I glanced at them. They look really cool. Maybe I could use them on my stuff this weekend.
Don't know.
Yes.
Look at Troop.
Depends on if we're fighting them.
Look at Troop.
And
I
free.
think Sinister Secrets of Saltmarsh is supposed to be more of a cohesive whole as opposed to Tales of the Yawning Portal. Well, they've got the old Saltmarsh trilogy, but then they
Yeah.
also have other like water-based adventures. So
Yeah, there's Salvage Operation by Mike Merles. There's The Styes by Richard Pett.
the styes.
Some other ones that have to do with like monasteries on islands. There's actually 2 that have to do with monasteries on islands. I checked.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's weird as I run most of it. You know what it is? I was like, a lot of these are kind of obscure Dungeon Magazine adventures.
They really are.
And like, but I recognized all of them, and I realized that's because I love boat adventures. So years ago, when I was doing my Skull and Shackles campaign, I dug up every freaking boat adventure I could find and flip through to see if I could work it in. So that's it was like, but salvage operation was one I thought that was really obscure that we pulled out and I ran a few years ago before I
Mhm.
started streaming. That was a Mike Merle's adventure with a Kraken in it, and it was freaking awesome. So,
Nice.
Boats are fun. Boats are fun in
And-
Boats are
RPGs.
fun.
and
Sure
one
are.
one of those adventures in the book, I can't remember
Ah.
if it's Tamaraut's Fate or another one, but um, it's like an island where you end up on an island and there's all these zombies and you're stuck in this one building and like this.
Oh yeah, that's Tamaraut's Fate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was awesome too. I did run that when I ran Savage Tide. So
Nice.
look at your boat. With everything happening around roughly the same location, instead of getting rumors about things going on halfway across the planet.
It's in relation to their previous thing.
Oh, okay.
The- it's going to be more around the salt marsh is going to be more around the same area and more cohesive in that way than in Tales of the Yawning Portal. Well, you go stay and go now.
Yeah.
Go over here. Go Neverwinter and go over here.
Yeah,
Right
they're
from
like
Mountain.
unrelated. It's like different thing because against the Giants is like it's a Greyhawk thing, and then there's other thing
Yeah.
where it's like Ground Realms. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Vixen says, yeah, where are all the castles or haunted mansions or gardens of evil trees?
Might
Yeah.
be a haunted mansion in Ghost of Saltmarsh. Maybe.
Remisis, I think timeline-wise, Princes of the Apocalypse is supposed to happen in 1491, after the current modules were around 1490, although Chris has sort of waffled on the current date in DCA.
Pardon the pun.
I wonder if he'll ever say on Dice Camera Action if those things took place, and if so, who dealt with them.
Well, we've gotten in Ack Inc. We've gotten like hints of them
Right.
because they fought
right.
they fought Vanifer and the Cult of Elemental Fire and the Tiamat's cult
You're
and
right.
stuff.
You're
And I
right.
actually watched the Rise of the Dragon Queen episodes of Ack Inc. and they actually have the vote to remove Dagalt Neverember as Open Lord in that episode.
Awesome.
nice.
Yep.
That's awesome. I ran that in the game store. I had
Yeah.
a group of kids, and Rise of Tiamat has all of those meetings with Dagult and all of the people. It was really fun. It needed to be fleshed out though, because in the book it was
Yeah.
Let's see. Hey
I
Scotty,
do know
you do know what?
that Chris has said previously that Dragon Heist takes place around 1492.
Yep.
And I noticed that Ramesses later is that Chris is being lenient on the timeline. They were supposed to reach Waterdeep early spring 1490, and they are just at the beginning of summer now. But Chris told them they had known Warrington for 5 months. And to that, I say, I'm pretty sure they went through multiple seasons. Like it was fall at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And
who knows?
So I think they've been there for a while now.
Yeah.
Either that or the seasons are really weird in Waterdeep.
From playing in Sean's Dragon Heist game, I can confirm they're very weird.
Yeah. Remisis says Chris is being very lenient on the timeline. They were supposed to reach Waterdeep in early spring 1490, and they're just at the beginning of summer now. Chris told them they had known Warrington for 5 months.
Yeah, that's what I
probably
just brought up.
Let's see. There's a couple of D&D Beyond's Encounter of the Week. Oh, okay, cool. I'll have to check that out. Phoenix is a VIP and can post links. It's a cool Twitch feature I just pressed buttons on recently. Look at you, bro. I've also been looking into nautical adventures because I'm writing a module that takes place on an abyssal layer that's mostly water. Maybe the water
Ooh.
cult will pop up in conjunction with Saltmarsh. Yeah, there's
Awesome.
a couple cool ones. I think Demogorgon's Realm. There's a huge
Yep.
abyssal ocean. And I think actually the abyssal ocean connects to a lot of the different layers.
Yeah. It goes to like Yenogu's realm, where like there are cannibal pirates, and like Dagon's realm with all of his weird stuff. Yeah.
I think most of Graz's triple layers are connected too.
Yeah, the River Salt. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. The reason they met the Xanathar as their first enemy was that it's the assigned villain of the spring. Chris said right as they reached port that it was early spring. I think Chris tried to work in all of the bad guys.
Oh yeah,
Did.
Yeah, definitely.
All of them at the same time, and it was great.
He
it's
did.
great.
So
Yeah.
it did be
Oh yeah.
mostly the Xanathar at the beginning, though.
Mhm.
That's
To
true.
remain. So,
Look at your Umberlee's. Okay, he's talking about the link. This one's at Umberlee's place. Yeah, Savage Tide. Savage Tide. Let me tell you something, people. For anybody who's newer to D&D, if you dig up those old dungeon magazines, the Savage Tide Adventure Path is so freaking awesome. It's pirates and the abyss like combined. And it's one of those
And dinosaurs.
and dinosaurs
And Igwilf.
and
And yeah,
Igwilf. Yeah, it's an
it has everything.
really great
Ooh.
adventure path. That yeah, we are like really out of time. I feel like I missed
Oh,
a
geez.
comment. Somebody asked. Let me see here.
Hmm.
Oh, opinions on Storm King's Thunder. Go. Do you have opinions on it?
I looked at it.
You
I
looked at
love the Storm Giant castle
it? Mhm.
in it. I love that so much. And I love the boat with what is it, the Morkoth, the name of the boat, where you go and save this giant king, and then the Kraken attacks, and they're like fighting on the boat. That encounter is like, I want to run that just like alone. That's like the best part of the whole thing for me.
Sean,
Yeah.
what do you think, Storm King?
I had fun with it. It does have a similar like sandbox quality that I kind of liked in the beginning part of Tomb, and going like being able to fight all the different giants is kind of cool.
Mm.
I had a lot of fun playing it.
You guys, your group, did it get through the whole thing?
We did not. We got pretty close, and then it just kind of like out of game stuff happens, and
Hmm.
scheduling kills a lot of things
Ooh,
more than
out of game
enemies.
stuff.
Well, not out of
Oh,
game stuff. It's just like
juicy.
schedule.
Juicy.
Well, just like scheduling. Like
Yeah.
Ah.
if this the most deadly of monsters. Our real life schedules and works good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's bummer. I was hoping for some D&D gossip. All right. One other thing I wanted to mention real quick was Lightfall's got new powers apparently.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wrote down the old powers. It sheds light. It does
Mhm.
plus 2d6 radiant damage to undead and fiends.
Yes,
And
it does.
if an undead has 25 hit points or less, it must make a saving throw or be destroyed.
Mm.
So those are the
I-
old powers, and I can see why they're gonna get juiced up.
Yeah. I wonder if it's gonna be a similar power to Staff of the Magi, because
Oh gosh.
that thing is
What
like-
if it ends up being a Holy Avenger?
oh my. Ooh.
Oh
Bring up
goodness.
stats, bring
That
up
would be awesome.
That would be freaking
Intrigued.
amazing. Oh
Do
man,
tell.
because it was like a Mace of Disruption, right?
Yeah.
So a Holy Avenger gives you +3 to attack and damage.
Mhm.
It deals an extra 2d10 radiant damage to fiends or undead.
Yeah, which he does a lot. Yeah.
Oh gosh. It creates an aura and 10 feet around you where everyone friendly to you has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. Oh my
Good.
god.
If you have
If you have
17,
Yeah,
17
never
or more
die.
levels in Paladin, the radius increases to 30 feet.
just everybody huddle around Evelyn.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Wow.
That's-
wow.
That seems like a good idea, though. That seems appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
totally.
it spells. Holy crap.
it's awesome. All right,
That's pretty rad.
we are out of time.
Oh no.
I want to thank everybody for in the chat who commented. Thank you very much. You made it a million times better. Once this is over, I'm gonna VIP a few more people that I'm seeing in here because you're all very important people. I mean, if you
Sure.
didn't watch, I wouldn't do it. So, thank you
Yeah.
everybody very much for chatting. And why don't we do some plugs real quick? Rena, do you have any plugs?
Well, you can find me on Twitter. I always spell it out, but it's on the screen, and I'm scared I'm gonna stutter. So,
Mhm.
let's try it. It's at MIKO_CARINA. And if you want to watch me stream, I might be streaming Unlocking Black Viper on Idle Champions tomorrow. So, for the one person who said "but why," I am thankful that someone voted but why, but also why. But yeah, that should be happening tomorrow. I would have today, but I didn't have time to, so we're doing it tomorrow. And also every Sunday, you can find me playing with my Dungeon Academy crew here on Power Score RPG. I play as Winthrop, my edgy druid boy, getting edgier every day.
It really does, yeah.
Yes.
Shadow Demon Wings.
Yeah.
Shawnee, you got any plugs?
Yes, timely today that the PAX East schedule has been released. I will be there and part of a historical and visual transgender representation RPGs at 4:30 p.m. on Fridays. So that's going to be during PAX East on the 320 on March 29th. And then as far as regular games, it is one I'm looking most excited to is Hell's Rebels this weekend. 6:30 p.m. on Saturday, which we will be having some sort of banquet, and I will have to be. Looks like Theo might have to actually drag her less charismatic friends through like some very 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 tense social encounters. So I'm excited for that. Everything around that. Is great.
All episode.
Also for a little bit of trivia, Theo was the character I played in that Storm King's Thunder game. So
Cool.
yeah.
Nice.
Dylan, do you have any plugs?
I do actually. Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time here on Power Square RPG, we're gonna be trying to finish up Waterdeep Dragon Heist, where we freaking knocked Jarlaxle unconscious, got the gold, and are transporting it out of the vault. Unfortunately, one of our party members, not naming any names, Scott in the chat, went and might have gotten captured by the Xanathar and told him everything. So maybe he's going to try and get it. Yeah, it's going to be fine. Whatever. Well, I'm sure we'll get the gold. It'll be great. And
Sure,
we'll
you'll get all the gold.
have a fun summer vacation. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, this weekend I got all of those games going on, and yeah, that's about it. So thank you everybody for watching Waffle Talk. We will be back again next week. And thank you very much. I know I'm hearing things about the wiki. It's on Gamepedia, but apparently it's merging with fandom, and I'm not sure what that is going to mean for the wikis or how it's all going to smush together. So I guess we'll see what happens with that. I'm not positive, but I'm going to ask around and see what I can figure out. Okay. So thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you again next week. Bye bye.
See you.